So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to video 2 of the ourTWD stories. This video deals with your favourite character, your favourite episode or your favourite moment from the show. As I said in the last video, if you guys want to take part in upcoming videos but you missed this one, there is 3 topics left that will be coming up in upcoming weeks. It'll be one posted each Saturday. Next week's topic is conventions, so any convention story that you may have, any fun actor that you met from the cast that was really nice, or a funny story that you have, send them to ourTWDstories@yahoo.com. You can WeTransfer them to me if they're under a certain size, I think. Try and keep your clips under 2 minutes because I'm trying to give everybody a chance to be included. Topic number 4 is going to be all things Walking Dead art. So it could be merch, it could be tattoos, it could be drawings, it could be cosplays that you've done of characters from the show. Anything surrounding any topic like that you'd like to submit, again, email me or DM me. And the final video in the series is going to be your message to the Walking Dead cast and crew. So if you had the cast or crew in front of you, what would you say to them? I've been taking so many submissions from all over the fucking place. I've been taking text posts, I've been taking photos, I've been taking videos from people. But for the final one, obviously I'm going to be accepting all submissions. But for the messages for the Walking Dead cast and crew, I think it would be amazing to have as many videos of people as we can. So if you have something you want to say to one of the actors or to the cast in general, take a short video of yourself under 2 minutes long and send it to the email that I mentioned before. You still have loads of time for submissions for that one though. That's not going up for another like 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, so getting back to this video, this, as I said, deals with your favourite character, moment or episode. And like last time, to start it off, my favourite character, I think it's well fucking known who my favourite character is. I have been so vocal since day one about Mr. Daryl Dixon. Since my man strutted onto the screen. I mean, I have loved him through thick and thin. My guy was wearing ear necklaces, okay? My guy went through periods in the show of looking like he hadn't showered in a year. I had to watch him eat dog food. He is the reason that Easy Street, once I hear the opening fucking note, I just get sent into like feral mode. I just love him. I have loved his character progression. I have loved watching him transition through the show, watching all the different sides that he's put out to the world, put out to viewers, watching him come to terms with so much shit. From being Merle's scared little brother that just follows him around everywhere to who he is now in season 11. It's been incredible. It's been a wild ride. And my love for Norman Reedus knows no ends. But again, you guys know about that. Jesus Christ, the demon in me tried to jump out there. Down, girl. Now it's time to hear some of your guys' submissions.
My favorite character of all time is Daryl. The reason why he's one of the first characters that I really relate to.
TWD Universe over on Instagram said my favourite character, episode or moment. The legend himself, Rick Grimes. Why is he my favourite? He's always been there to protect his family and do what's right. Agreed. I miss the brave man too. Megan Jones over on Instagram said, "Hi, I'm Megan, 22, from the UK. My favourite episode is Clear, Season 3, Episode 12, when Rick reunites with Morgan again. It was very emotional to see him like this, as Morgan lost his son, and Morgan was sure that Rick wasn't there every day at dawn on the walkie-talkie as promised. But it's understandable how he was acting after what he lost. Also, it's when Rick started trusting Michonne. Back then I had a feeling they would end up together. I'm so happy they did. And it was nice to see Carl and Michonne getting to know and trust each other. Every time I rewatch the show, I always look forward to this episode."
Hey, so The Walking Dead has so many incredible characters, and 2 are sort of tied for my favourite spot. But considering I have a tattoo of Lucille and not Morgan's staff, I think this is going to have to go to Negan. And I mean, what an incredibly complex and brilliantly written character. I mean, I know the reason I love him so much is because he has this ability to make light of any situation, no matter how dark it is. And I think for a lot of us who have been going through dark times recently, you know, with everything that's been going on, that's something that's so... you can admire it, you know, you can inspire to be like it, and it's incredibly done. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who wrote Negan's story, helped work with the character. Thank you to Robert Kirkman for creating the character, and a massive thank you to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who absolutely crushed the role and brought Negan to life. you know your character is great when fans like myself choose to immortalize the memory of said character on their body forever. So again, Negan's my all-time favourite character in The Walking Dead, and I cannot wait to watch The Isle of the Dead and see what he gets up to. So, yeah.
My favourite character was Carl Grimes. My favourite episode is No Way Out, Season 6, Episode 9. And the scene that won't get out of my head is Carl Grimes' death scene. I just can't, said Sierra Sinclair. Yeah, dude, it's been years. I still just can't either. Robert Winward over on Instagram said, my favourite character of The Walking Dead throughout most of the series is Carol. I don't think, across any other media I've watched, I've ever seen a character go through the motions and tribulations that this woman has gone through. She's lost her daughter, Lizzie and Mika, her adopted son Henry. You'd think after everything she'd gone through she would just given up on life, but nah. She gets her ass up every time and somehow manages to become even more dangerous to those who fuck with her and those she cares for, whether it be live cremation or hiring a double agent to take the bitch out. I've rooted for her from the start, despite never expecting her to survive for very long, early on. Now she's practically invincible. Watch me eat my words. She almost has this sort of Lara Croft badassness to her, maybe a tad stretch, in that she won't stop until she's fulfilled her goal, force of nature, as Rick once described her to Morgan. 1,000,000% agree on that point.
What's up, Katie? It's me. Obviously, I sent this to you. I chose the second prompt, if you didn't see that, and my favorite episode, character, moment, everything is just Season 8, Episode 8, when Negan and Carl are talking on the wall, and Carl's like, if you're gonna kill all these kids, just don't kill all the kids, kill me instead. And Negan's like, you really want to die? And they have a moment, and you can kind of see Negan like feel sympathy and like being like hesitant, being like, do I really want to do this? And Carl, you can see Carl's growth from being that scared little kid that was like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Rick, mom, where are you? And seeing that growth from like seeing everything that he's done, and like just being willing to risk it all. And either way, knowing that even his risk wouldn't have been that much either way, because he was going to die originally. And I mean, obviously he died, so. But yeah, you get to see Carl's growth, and Carl's growth really stuck with me because I started watching the show when I was young, and it was like during the middle of Season 6. So when I went back to rewatch the show and I was so young, I mean, like I kind of saw Carl's growth, and that kind of stuck with me because I'm that kid, you know? And yeah.
Dean over on YouTube said, I have a lot of favourite characters, but I wanted to shout out Ezekiel. Carrie Payton plays the character so well. He's such a ray of sunshine. Makes me smile every time I see him on screen. Dude, I agree. 1,000,000%. Every time I see him, my fucking life just lights up. Josh over on Instagram said, my favourite character for a while has been Carol. I love how vulnerable she is, and her ability to adapt to the situation she's placed in is inspiring. My favourite episode, there's two, The Grove and No Sanctuary, both for different reasons. The Grove because it's the episode where we see Carol become who she needs to be, and it's an amazing bottle episode. And No Sanctuary is one of my favourites because we get to see our group come together to escape this brutal group. My favourite moment is either Carol killing the wolves or Carol blowing up Terminus.
My favorite character would be Negan or Daryl. I have a Negan tattoo and a Daryl Dixon tattoo. My favorite episode is Season 4, Episode 8. My favorite moment is when Rick is pleading with the governor and telling him that they're not all too far gone and that they can keep living.
Hey Kate, hey guys, my name is Anthony from West Virginia, and I decided to join this Our Walking Dead Family Stories with my personal favorite character, the man, the myth, the legend, the all great Negan. Now, me personally, growing up, I always was a fan of villains. Always have been. I liked certain heroes, but I was always a villain guy. So when Negan debuted, I fell in love. Because Negan, to me, is me turned up to 1,000. He's the smartass that I am, and he's that cocky, confident villain that will shut shit down and get shit done. For me, episode 7-1, there will be a day when you won't be the lineup. Him, and I know this is going to be controversial, bashing Glenn's skull in made him rise up my ranking of villains to where nowadays he's probably my favorite villain of all time. And that's saying something coming from me, being a fan of villains for as long as I have been. It's just one of those where I love Negan. I love what he's done, whether it be 7-1 the lineup, here's Negan, service, gutting Spencer to prove that he has some guts, to writing fan fictions about Negan. Negan has been my reason for staying with The Walking Dead till the very end and enjoying The Walking Dead and going to the next season. I hope you guys enjoy Negan as much as I do, and if you don't, well, that's just tough shit, because we are Negan.
Hey Kate, it's me again, Sadie Louise, and this is video number 2, favorite character, episode, or scene, and I know you said pick one, but I can't, and I think I can keep it under 2 minutes. Before ever watching the show, I had seen a few episodes here and there, some clips of episodes, and before watching, it was Here Is Not Here, and I had never seen the ending, and I love that episode. I just thought it was beautiful. But after watching the series, I 416 or season 4, episode 16, when Rick says, Abraham goes, find out what, and Rick goes, they're screwing with the wrong people. I love that. And I also love, I think it's season 5, episode 10, them. I love that episode, but I especially love when they're in the barn and they're all just trying to keep the door shut. I don't know, it gives me warm fuzzies, which is weird. And my favorite characters are always going to be Daryl and Michonne. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again. I'm really excited for the videos, and I think this is a great idea. Talk to you next time. Bye.
My favourite character definitely has to be Carol. I love the way her character developed over the seasons. She really was a force to be reckoned with. The reunion they have with her after Terminus is definitely my favourite moment. There's a lot of Carol love in this so far. I mean, I agree, she's one of my favourites too, but wow. Okay, so this is an email from Talking Dead. Not the Talking Dead, I had to blur out the email address. It's no way affiliated with the actual Talking Dead. But they said, hey, so my favourite episode of The Walking Dead is season 4, episode 12. Still. Oh my god, yes. Same. Finally, someone on my brain wavelength. The reason I loved that episode was because it was emotion driven, and despite there being a lack of violence, it was the first time we see Daryl express his emotions, although the poor Walker thinks he displayed his emotions too violently, lol. And my favourite character in all The Walking Dead would also have to be Tara, and honestly, I have no idea why, considering she barely got any screen time. But I think it's because she became my comfort character and had a funny sense of humour, despite being in a literal apocalypse. P.S. I started watching in 2011, when 7 years old, and then I started watching reaction videos after seeing your reaction of the lineup. Your one-liner will forever be iconic. Keep your arse glued to the floor. Thank you so much for watching me for so long, dude. Yeah, the lineup reaction was a very tense moment for me. I was fighting for my life and for Daryl's life.
Okay, so my favorite episode of The Walking Dead has to be 701, The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. Everything about this episode is just great. The music, the effects, the acting, the writing, etc. I love this episode, even with how heartbreaking it is to watch, even the second time through. My favorite character on the show has to be, of course, Rick Grimes himself. I just really love his development throughout the show, and he has some of the most badass scenes in the show, which I love. I still like the show even after he left, and I think it carried itself pretty well. So my favorite moment of the show has to be between when Rick bites the guy's neck out in season 4, or this might be due to recency bias, but the introduction to the Whisperers, and this one's a little more controversial because of the death of Jesus. Spoiler alert on 608. But I just love the sheer terror on our protagonist's face, hearing the whispering in that graveyard and finding out that it's a person underneath this walker skin mask, and they don't know how to react to this.
My favourite episode is Clear. Lenny James's performance is out of this world. His monologue is the best written thing in The Walking Dead. The music is incredible. The direction is incredible. It's got all my favourite characters in it. It's just amazing. My favourite character is Eugene. I love Eugene. I love Eugene since he debuted. I love Eugene through thick and thin. My other favourite character is Carl. I have loads of stuff to do with Carl in my room, and I miss him very much.
Captain Chaos, I told you we'd circle back around to your comment. Where is it? Okay, of course, Rick is my favourite character. My favourite scene is when Negan has Rick and Carol on their knees in Alexandria and Rick looks him in the eyes. I already told you I'm going to kill you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. You're already dead. It's going to be a sad day when it's over. I'm glad I found The Walking Dead because I've met so many cool people. I'll stop there so I don't bore you to death, and I'll attach a few pics. Thank you for being so awesome. I think I included your pictures partially. Is it next week's video, I think? Yeah, it was the cosplay pictures, I'm pretty sure. Naomi over on Instagram said, I've loved Daryl from the beginning, but now I just love everyone. I still think my favourites are Daryl, Michonne and Negan. The lineup is probably my favourite, even though I cried like a bitch.
My favorite character is actually Eugene. Controversial statement, but I absolutely love Eugene. He is so fucking funny. I love listening to him. It's the best thing ever. I could never ask for something more. But if not him, it's my boy Rick, obviously. Gonna miss him. Can't wait to see him in the series. Favorite episode / moment, I'll put those together, is the town fight scene where they fight all the zombies. So freaking cool.
Hey everybody, Dagan Esperod back here from the Let's Get Ready Network. Second video here in the series for hashtag ourTWDstories. Thanks again to Katie for putting this together. Okay, so for favorite character, this might be a bit of a controversial pick, but I'm a bit of a stand for Negan. Not just because our names sound similar, but also because I think he's one of the most layered and complex characters that The Walking Dead has ever given us. You know, and he's done some horrible stuff, but he's gone so far in his evolution as a character to now he's sort of almost more of an anti-hero. And along those same lines, in terms of a moment, I don't know if it's my favorite moment, but it's certainly a moment that sticks out, and that is Negan's introduction. You know, it's really brutal and really intense and, man, controversial, as I said. I mean, people were freaking out, understandably so, after that episode, but I think that it's such a huge turning point for the series, and we're still seeing the after effects of it, even in the final season. But, I mean, that moment, as brutal as it is, pretty much straight page to screen from the comics. In terms of a favorite episode that stands out, again, maybe not the most popular choice here, but I gotta shout out Season 6, Episode 4, Here's Not Here. I think the episode really gets overlooked because it was right after Glenn's, 200th fake-out death, so everybody was still freaking out about that, but it's a really, really great episode. It's kind of slow and methodical, but I really like that style episode, and there's some great stuff with the character of Morgan. But lastly, I gotta shout out the most recent mid-season finale, which I think is the best mid-season finale that we've ever gotten, and that's Acts of God. Just so many amazing moments, so many amazing episodes for this show overall, and it's tough to narrow it down to just one, but those are my picks. I know some of these picks might be controversial, so internet, don't get too mad at me. Here's a cute dog.
Visual Stories over on Instagram said, 2 of my favourite characters have been Beth and Daryl, and so one of my all-time favourite episodes is still, oh my god, another still Stan. It's an episode I come back to time and time again, and it's also one that really inspired me to begin editing the Walking Dead videos to tell a story. At that point in the show, when all of our team family characters were separated, it was comforting to see 2 total opposite characters connect with each other amongst all the chaos. That final scene of them both watching the house burn down was the perfect way to end the episode. Lavicia? I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. You can correct me in the comments. I think it's Lavicia. They said, I've been a Walking Dead fan since 2017 and I have binge watched the show ever since. My favourite character is Michonne, and my favourite moment was when Rick and the group came together and killed all the walkers that raided Alexandria in Season 6, Episode 9. Watching that scene was intense and gave me goosebumps.
Hey Katie, Willie here. My favorite Walking Dead character is Glenn, and it's because I can see myself in him a little bit. You know, the kind-heartedness, the willing to never give up, the love interest thing. But yeah, Glenn is totally my favorite. Michonne's awesome, Daryl kicks ass, but Glenn is the man.
Patty on Instagram said, my favourite character has been Daryl ever since I saw him in Season 1, Episode 2. My favourite moment on the show is Carol and Daryl's hug after she saves them from Terminus, and my favourite episode has been The Groove since the first time seeing it. Jodie sent an email saying, I hope it makes it to you just before you finish editing. She said, I started listing out my favourite moments from the show as I couldn't pinpoint just one, but it became out of control and there's just too many, so I whittled it down to a couple. One of my all-time faves is Season 5, Episode 10, Them. I just loved it. So many great scenes when the whole group was on the road, iconic images of them travelling together, Sasha sniping the dogs, Rick's story in the barn, the storm with them all working together. So many memories. Moments, sorry. So many little moments. The second favourite is Season 6, Episode 10, The Next World. I just loved the humour in this. A lot of quiet one-liners, Rick and Daryl's bromance on the show, sharing the chocolate bar, the intro of Jesus, and of course, Rishon finally happened. Thanks for putting this together for everyone. A great idea. Thank you, Jodie. Tracy over on Instagram. Tracy, I think I got the submission before last week's video, so I just said I'd pop it in here in the middle just because it was such a lovely message. So Tracy said, I read about it and I decided to check it out, the show. The episode I started was Season 4. Tyrese was holding a baby and walking along with 2 little girls. I was like, OMG, what? I decided the next day to go out and grab the first 3 seasons, and I've never looked back. My daughters used to get up with me at 10:30 p.m. to watch the next episode, and then as teens they left me for their bands and their makeup. But I absolutely loved The Walking Dead. The show certainly changed my choices of show. The Walking Dead has changed my life, the chats, the friends, the merch. It's just been so awesome. Special note for you, I've so much enjoyed watching The Walking Dead in Fear with you. I've laughed, cried, been shocked, surprised and amazed. You've been my go-to for a fun and comfort when times are hard. Tracy, thank you so much. Man, words like that, they just stick with me in ways that you guys I don't even think you know. Thank you. Megan over on Instagram said the standout episode for me has to be Negan's backstory. It gave so much more depth to the character, and it showed how what someone goes through really does change them. The acting from Jeffrey and Hillary was absolutely incredible, and they gave some of the best performances of the season. Character-wise, I love Negan, but my heart will always be with Ezekiel and Jerry. They've stood out since they came on screen, and I hope we see them make it to the end of the main show. Finally, there are so many standout moments of the show, from the governor losing his mind to Negan's entrance to the Whisperer's first appearance. All these examples had me on edge when I watched the episodes, and I often found myself gripping a cushion in fear of what would happen next.
Hello, I'm Spencer Stabio, and this is my Walking Dead story. Since this is episode 2, I'll be going over my favorite character, my favorite moment, and my favorite episode. My favorite character is the one and only Daryl Dixon. Now, in the beginning, the writers could have easily written him as like some, stereotypical like redneck character, but, seeing his arc over the series, it just felt very satisfying. You look at him now and he's acting as like a parental figure to Judith and RJ, and that it's just satisfying to see. And considering that he was an original character and not from the original source material, that just makes his character even more amazing. For my favorite moment, there's many great moments in the series, but one that stands out to me at the moment is the moment in Rick's last episode when he sees Herschel again. And that scene just carries so much gravity, so much weight, not only in context of the episode, but the fact that that was Scott Wilson's last scene as an actor. So yeah, that's just a pretty emotional scene for me. Speaking of that episode, I think that's my favorite episode of the series. Just one great scene after another. You see old characters again. You have that scene between Maggie and Negan. And of course, I personally thought Rick's exit was pretty phenomenal. It just brought everything back to that first episode of the series, Also, there's that time jump where, you see Judith, you see these new characters, and it's just something, it's something fresh. It's just something that the show really needed, and I think it's just one of the greatest moments in the show's history.
Oh yeah says, so much can go into these categories. I don't have one favourite, so I'll go with the character of Daryl Dixon. He's your ride or die, will admit when he's wrong, and has no problem telling others when they are as well. He's got the biggest heart, the uncle everybody wishes they had. Norman Reedus encapsulates him to a T. For the episode, I'll pick Season 5, Episode 10, Them. They're in full survival mode, searching in vain for water. It's hot as hell. Worms and dogs are on the menu. Daryl finally opens the floodgates and has a good cry. The storm comes and they have to retreat. The scene in the barn where they basically keep the barn standing by sheer will to survive is just one of many episodes. Moments. Here I'd like to first shout you out, Katie. Oh! Until a year ago, I had pretty much watched The Walking Dead with yours. Oh, did that meant to say you? Until a year ago, you just watched The Walking Dead with me? Oh my god, thank you. There just isn't one, though. Rick, Herschel and Glenn in town, Michonne at the gate, Darryl and Carol, Carol at Terminus, Tyrese and Judith, Abe and Sasha, Big Bad Negan. There is more to come. And yeah, that is it for this week's video, you guys. Thank you so much for all your lovely submissions. I've said it last video, but like, I don't know, it's been so surreal going through everybody's stories. It's been so surreal checking the inbox every morning and seeing so many different people sending on their little moments with the show. It's just, I always said it about The Walking Dead, that this isn't just a show. It means an awful lot to people, and doing this project has just proved that to me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking part in this video. Like I said at the start, keep your submissions for the other topics coming in. I'm constantly editing as I go. It's never too early, never too late. Yeah, as always, the link to my Twitter, Instagram, my Patreon is down below, where I do a whole bunch of different videos. I do a bunch of reactions over on Patreon. I mean, I'm doing like 15 different shows at the moment. Most recently I started House of Dragon, The Sandman, Resident Evil, Only Murders in the Building, and I'm also doing She-Hulk. The link to that's down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week for the Convention Stories video.